guess we can skip a good few years. John Ferrier recovered from his ordeal well enough. Distinguished himself as a guide, hunter. Lucy, well, I'll come to Lucy in a minute or so. When they finally stopped their wanderings, Ferrier was granted as good a stretch of land as any of the men, save Young, of course, and excepting the four elders, Kemble, Johnson, Stangerson, and Drebber. His name was known, respected, but for all the respect, there was one thing about John Ferrier that offended the rest of the Mormons.
I will not do it, Lucy. I've gone along with all the rest, but that...
Now, don't distress yourself, Father. They cannot compel you.
Oh, you're right, child. Let them say what they will.
What are they saying?
They say I'm not a true follower of the faith, or that I care only for money, and the real reason I refuse to take any wives is because I begrudge the expense. A friendlier ones say I hold myself single in memory of a long-lost love who pined away on the shores of the Atlantic.
Oh, how romantic.
Oh, sweet child.
Though the fair Lucy was no longer a child. I was a prospector in those days. Come to the city to raise capital to work some lodes I discovered. That day I met Lucy. I don't know, gentlemen. It was as if a whole new stretch of land had been opened up in front of my eyes that I never knew existed. And I was a strong-willed young man. Whatever I undertook, I was accustomed to success.
Lucy!
Jefferson!
Lucy, listen. I have to go away.
Go away?
Well, for a month. 2 at the most.
2 months? No, you can't. I'll die.
You'll not die.
But...
Look, 2 months at the most. And then I'll come back. I'll ask you to be mine.
Oh, Jefferson.
Look, your father has given me his consent.
Well, of course, if you and Father have arranged it all between you, there's no more to be said.
So you will? Look, the longer I stay, the harder it'll be to go. Goodbye. Bye, Lucy. In 2 months, you'll see me.
Goodbye, my love.
Less than 2 months.
Oh, Jefferson.
Oh, if I'd known. If I'd had the smallest suspicion. Do you think I would have ridden away like that? Do you? Do you?
Easy.
Here, drink this. Here. Slowly.
I think we should postpone this.
No. No, I must continue.
Doctor, what's your opinion?
I think we should carry on. But before we do...
What are you giving him?
I must have the name of that powder, Dr. Watson.
It's only a mild painkiller. Drink it down in one. Good. Thank you, Doctor. All right. You have to understand that to hold any kind of unorthodox opinion was a dangerous matter among the Mormons. To fall foul of the elders was a terrible thing.
Close the door, if you please. Yes, Brother Young. My daughter has gone to the city, but I could prepare some refreshments.
It is of your daughter that I wish to speak.
Lucy.
There are stories of her which I would fain disbelieve. Stories that she is sealed to some Gentile. What is the 13th rule in the code of the St. Joseph Smith? You claim to be a loyal member of the church, wise in its teachings. What is the 13th rule?
That every maiden of the true faith marry one of the elect. For if she marry a Gentile, she commits a grievous sin.
Your daughter has found favor in the eyes of many who are high in the land. Stangerson has a son. Drebber has a son. They are young and rich and of the true faith. Let her choose between them.
You must give us time. Lucy is scarce of an age to marry.
We give you time. We give you 1 month.
A month?
At the end of 30 days, she shall make her choice. And if she will not, then I will do so for her. Good day to you, brother.
A month? I had been gone scarce 3 weeks. I discovered later that Ferrier sent a message after me the next day. It was that same day that he arrived home to find 2 young men. in possession of his sitting room.
I guess you don't know us, brother. This here's Enoch, the son of Elder Drebber.
Greetings, brother.
And I'm Joseph Stangerson. I traveled with you when I was just a lad, when the Lord stretched out his hand and gathered you into the true fold.
As he will all the nations in his own good time. He grindeth slowly, but exceeding small.
Amen, Brother Drebber.
I'd guessed who you were.
Then you must surely know why we're here.
Oh, I know your purpose right enough.
As I have only 4 wives, and Brother Drebber here has 7, it appears to me that my claim is the stronger.
The question is not how many we have, but how many we can keep. I'm the richer man.
But my prospects are better. I'm your elder and higher in the church.
What say you, Brother Ferrier?
I say this. I don't want to see either of your faces again.
Are you aware what an honor it is to marry the son of an elder?
I'm aware that there are 2 ways out of this room. There's the door and there's the window. Which do you care to use?
You have defied the prophet and the Holy Four. You'll regret this to the end of your days.
I knew nothing at all of this. The power of the Holy Four stretched wider and deeper than John Ferrier could ever suspect. His message never reached me.
Good morning, Father. I was wondering if I might... What in the world is the matter?
Nothing, child. Wait for me in the sitting room.
What is that paper? What does it say? Show it to me, Father.
Here. I found it pinned to the bedclothes. It was there when I woke.
29 days. Oh, my God.
Next morning, they found the number 28 scrawled with a burnt stick in the very center of their ceiling. That night, Ferrier sat up with his gun. He saw nothing, heard nothing. Yet in the morning, a great 27 had been painted on the outside of their front door. And so it went on. 20 changed to 15, 15 to 10, 10 to 5. And still they waited in vain. For me. In fact, I was on my way back to them. My business over and done with. And not a care in my heart.
Oh, boy! Drop your rifle!
Man said to drop your rifle.
Get off your horse.
He sure doesn't look much, does he, brother?
Look, if you're planning to...
Oh! That's enough, Drebber.
Drebber? I'll remember that name. If you're planning to rob me, get on with it.
Oh, we're planning to rob you, all right. Leastways, one of us is. But not yet. In 4 days' time.
What do you mean? 4 days?
Jefferson Hope.
You know me. What is this?
Keep your filthy heathen hands off the Ferrier girl.
Lucy! Yeah, she's meant for better than you, Hope. Me, for instance. Or my friend here. Pretty soon that trim little body's gonna be cuddling up to one of us.
You bastard!
You will show respect to us. I am Joseph Stangerson, first son of Elder Stangerson. When you speak to me, you speak to the prophet himself.
Stangerson? Drebber and Stangerson. That for your prophet!
And I hoped you were going to be reasonable. Teach him how to be reasonable, Brother Drebber.
My pleasure, Brother Stangerson.
Oh! Oh!
They left me for dead. By the time they'd finished with me, I wasn't far off it. But the thought of one of them, with my Lucy...
Who's there? I warn you, I'm armed.
Quiet! For the love of heaven!
Good God, you nearly had my gun in your face.
For pity's sake, get me inside. They're all around the house.
The devil they are. Here, take my arm.
Give me something to drink. Oh, my God. Oh. Oh, God, it's good. Oh. John, is Lucy all right?
Jefferson!
Oh.
Who did this to you?
Drebber, Stangerson, I've got to get both of you away. Tonight.
I can be dressed in a moment. What should we take?
Food. And as much water as we can manage.
I'll see to that. Hurry, buddy.
John?
What is it, son?
This house, the farm. Everything you worked for.
What's that to me? Give me a hand with the food.
The watchers were concentrating on the front and the rear of the house. We climbed out the side window while the moon was hidden by the clouds. And we made it safely to the edge of the cornfield.
Oh, thank God. We've done it.
They're everywhere. Not a sound.
9 to 7. 7 to 5.
What news?
If the girl remains stubborn, we strike tomorrow at midnight. The Prophet's orders. Then there'll be some fun.
All right, brother. I'll tell the others.
Is it safe to move on? We must. Everything depends on speed. I had 3 horses waiting. All night we kept moving, all next day. Most the next. By then our food was gone. I wasn't worried, though. There was game aplenty in the mountains. We were high up above sea level. The air was bitter.
Let me go.
No. No, you rest while you can. I'll not be long.
Be back before full dark.
Depend on it. We'll have a quick meal and move on. This time tomorrow, we'll be in Carson City. And safe. I had to tramp a couple of miles or more before I had any luck with my rifle. The last of the light was dying by the time I got back.
Hello? Lucy? John? We'll feast tonight!
Oh, sweet Jesus. Lucy?
Lucy!
I found John Ferrier at the edge of the clearing. He'd been beaten like an animal and shot. Lucy wasn't there.
Were you able to build up any picture of what happened?
Not until the next morning. I saw the tracks. A lot of men on horseback. They'd come up behind us, along the path. And they'd turned back towards Salt Lake City. They'd taken our horses. But I set off after them.
How long did it take you?
6 days. By the time I reached the city, I must have looked a wild sight. I stayed in the shadows. The streets were hung with flags. They were celebrating the marriage of an elder son. All I heard was talk about the great rivalry between these 2 fine young men. On the very day I got there, the Prophet had given my Lucy to Enoch Drebber.
What did you do?
I went back into the mountains. I suppose I must have lost my senses for a time. When I came to myself, I returned to the city. I knew what I'd find there. I knew she was dead. Dead of grief and shame. Some of Drebber's other wives were keeping vigil over her body. I took his ring from her finger. I'd not have her buried in Drebber's ring. And I vowed I'd not rest till I'd made them pay for what they'd done to my love.